Welcome back, Lindsay Friedman. She is the founder of LTCareNav, and we are excited to welcome one of the LTCareNav partners, Julie Fry from Gentreo. Welcome, Julie. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. Really excited to be here today.
We're excited to have you, and Lindsay, is always great to have you back. You know, Julie, this is really a great conversation to have with you because this is what you do, and we're going to talk about estate planning and things like that. And so I really want to start with, talking about how many people think estate planning is only for the wealthy or something that they can put off until they're older. What's the biggest misconception that you hear, and why does every adult really need these documents?
I think you actually led with it, that estate planning is only for the wealthy, because that is such a falsehood. Because what we want to do is we want to make estate planning available for everyone, because what good estate planning does is it allows you to say who gets what. It allows you to make decisions, and it allows you to take control instead of giving all of your control and choices up to the courts. And that is a right that everyone should have, regardless if they're super wealthy or if they're middle of the road or need help, etc. With Gentreo, our goal is to make sure that estate planning is easy and accessible, because everyone needs an estate plan to protect what they love the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm very fond of saying, make your decisions while you can still make them so that they're not made for you. That's probably one of my top 3 pet peeves. So when somebody does say, though, my spouse knows what I want, or my kids will figure it out, what do you tell them, and why is having those wishes documented so important?
Couple of things. First of all, that you want to make sure that you're not leaving a mess for your loved ones. Because even if you think, oh, they know what I want, oh, they'll figure it out, what you want to do is make these really, really hard times, like death in the family, or when people no longer can make decisions for themselves, you want to make it as easy as possible for those that continue to support you. So having these instructions, these legal documents, and these decisions in place now is incredibly important. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is the fact that even if you have just a few assets to your name, you want to make sure that you take control over who makes your decisions, and make sure that they understand how you want things divided, who you want to take care of your kids, etc.
Yeah. Can you walk us through what the essential documents are that every adult should have in place? Healthcare, power of attorney, financial power of attorney, living will, last will, and testament, and explain what each one actually does. Because I think some people get confused when they hear the different lingo. They kind of lump it all together as maybe one document, or they don't apply what the meaning or the purpose of a specific document is for. So if you could walk us through what they each do, that would be great.
No problem. So, in fact, I was just on a call today with somebody, their financial advisor, and a couple of users, and we went through step by step which each document does, because it is so confusing, and it's kind of like drinking from a fire hose in that it's a lot of information. The great thing is that it's not that hard. The documents themselves are basically 2 different categories. One is your will, and that takes effect after you die. So you can say whatever you want in your will, who gets what, etc., but your will is not going to take effect until after you pass away. The really important documents that you want while you're still living help you control your choices, or allows you to say who controls your choices when you can't do so yourself. The most important one for us is the healthcare proxy, which is also called a power of attorney for healthcare in some states. And it can include a living will. It includes a HIPAA release so that your family can talk to your doctors. And this is a really important document, pretty much that anyone over the age of 18 should have, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And what that healthcare proxy does is it allows you to say what your decisions are. Like, if God forbid something happens, do you want artificial respiration or nutrition? If you can't make the decisions for yourself, who would do that? And you can appoint somebody to make those decisions. And it has those HIPAA release so that you can talk to your parents, doctors, and also if you have children who are over the age of 18 and you're still helping them with their health care, their dentist, their insurance, their doctors, you need to make sure you have a HIPAA release, which is included in our Gentreo healthcare proxy, because without that, you cannot talk to your children's medical team. So it's really important for everyone to have, whether they're making their own decisions or they're granting you access to be able to talk to their medical team in emergency.
Absolutely. I think families are often surprised to learn that just being a spouse or next of kin doesn't automatically give them that legal authority to make medical or financial decisions. Why is that, and what can happen when those documents aren't in place?
If those documents aren't in place and you don't have the ability to step in and talk to your loved one's medical team, you either have to get an attorney and then go to court for an emergency guardianship, which becomes very time consuming and expensive, or you have to rely on the medical team to understand what your decisions are, even if they never were stated. So it's really important, because what good estate planning does is it allows you to control your own choices. And so by either making them yourself or giving the ability to someone to make those choices for you, incredibly important, because even if you are a spouse, even if you are a parent of a college child, it does not automatically, in the court's eyes, give you the ability to make those decisions for them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people are surprised by that, right? Yeah.
Absolutely, because everybody thinks, this is something, of course everybody's going to know what I want. Of course everybody's going to know who to talk to. But when you actually start to come up against HIPAA rules and legal regulations, unfortunately, that's just not the case.
Right. Absolutely. One of the biggest barriers is that people think creating these documents is expensive, time consuming, or overwhelming. How has technology and platforms like Gentreo made it easier for families to get started and to keep their plans up to date?
Oh, it is amazing what technology can do now. And for us, what we discovered is that we could build a step-by-step plan for users so that they understand what documents that they need, so that they can go step by step and understand the decisions and some of the implications of those decisions. And we are giving the ability for everyone, again, whether it's super wealthy and complicated estate or the average person, to create a comprehensive estate plan by basically just following along and answering questions to create legally binding documents. We call it TurboTax for estate planning, in that once you fill out the information, you create a legal document. From there, you go and get it executed, which means get it notarized in front of witnesses, signed, etc. And that becomes a legally binding document that anyone can do. And for us, we charge only $150 for the first year and $50 a year thereafter, so that you can create not only your will, but any of the documents that we have. We have 9 different documents, because if you want to come in and create a living trust or a joint trust and a pour over will, you're able to do that. If you want to come in and create that healthcare proxy or the power of attorney for finances or emergency cards, etc., or pet documents, we have all that information for you. And it's really important, because we use technology to make it easy and affordable and accessible, and we're also able to help you create documents for those you care for, because it's not just your documents that you need, but our name, Gentreo, refers to the fact that so many of us are caring for our elderly parents as well as our adult children. With Gentreo, we give you tools so that you can create documents and help them create documents on their own. They still need to be legally able to enter into contract and agree, but it gives you the ability to get things in order now. So when you need things like that power of attorney for finances, it's there and it's easily usable.
Yeah, that's incredible. Julie, if people listening or watching this are saying, I don't understand like the legal terms and the legalities, how does Gentreo help them? Like, can they call and somebody will walk them through it? Is it like a chat assistant? How does that work to help a lay person who may not know any of the terminology or really how to fill out these documents to, get them filled out correctly?
Absolutely. So we do a couple of things. Number one, we make it step by step so that everybody can do it at their own time. So if they need to gather information and they need to come back, they can do that. We also are very cognizant about the fact that most people aren't lawyers. They don't come with this legal understanding. So throughout the entire process, we identify and define terms, talk about and give more information. And most importantly at Gentreo is we have free coaches that are all US based. They aren't lawyers and we don't give legal advice because we aren't a law firm, but they can give you that technical help to explain what the questions are asking, what terminology means. We can point you towards blogs or articles, webinars, short videos, because what we want to do is make sure that you are creating a legally binding document based on your choices. And so we take it step by step so that everybody can create that plan at a pace that works for them. And then we have one-on-one people that they can talk to. That's part of their fee. We don't charge extra for that, making sure that they can answer all their questions.
That's wonderful. So you make it as easy as possible.
Absolutely, because our whole entire goal is making sure that people have the ability to create these estate plans, because it is so important. And if you've ever seen someone go through like a death in the family without an estate plan, it's so hard, it's so expensive and so time consuming. When you can go on and with Gentreo in less than an hour, you can create legally binding documents that help create and organize your family, that we wanted to make sure that everybody could do this.
Absolutely. And, we're going to have it in the show notes as well as up on the screen. But for those listening or watching right now, Julie, where would you like them to go to learn more about Gentreo?
The best place to go is to our website, which is www.gentreo, which is GENTREO.com. And from there, it'll give you all the information of what documents are included. We're across all 50 states because so many of us are moving, going through different times, and we make sure that each of our documents is legally binding within each state. So we want to make sure that as people come on, they find the right tools for them based on what their specific life situation is.
That's wonderful. If you could leave listeners and viewers with one piece of advice, what would you like to tell them about getting these documents completed before that health crisis or emergency occurs?
Number one, the biggest thing is get it done. For our family, we put our parents' estate plan in place. Our dad was a banker. He was phenomenal at handling everything and all of the assets of the family and the books, etc. And we put an estate plan in place, and then he got dementia, which we weren't expecting, and it was really hard on our family. But because we had done all of the planning, it made that really difficult time a lot easier because we could jump in and we could help mom make financial decisions or sell homes, deal with cars. The biggest thing is just to get it done.
Great advice. Julie Fry from Gentreo, a great partner of LTCareNav. Lindsay Friedman, founder of LTCareNav. Always great to see you, Lindsay. Look forward to seeing you guys back again in the future.
Thanks, Lance. Pleasure to be here today.
Our pleasure. Bye-bye.